Hi, I'm Sydney Clavino. I am a junior studying ag business, marketing, and communication, and I'm from Eastern Washington, and I was chapter president this past school year. My favorite part about being chapter president was getting to talk to girls in the house that I wouldn't have normally gotten the chance to talk to, just because we were maybe like in different grades in school or like just were interested in different things, so our paths never crossed. But being chapter president, I got to talk to all of them, and it made me feel like a greater part of the chapter, and I'm just really glad. And then now I get to see people that I know, and I don't think I would have had that opportunity if I hadn't been chapter president. I think the hardest part about being chapter president was dealing with the COVID pandemic, because obviously something like that's never happened before in today's day and age, and so we didn't really have a lot of foundation or like guidelines to go off of, and so we were kind of just like going in blind trying to figure it out, and so that was difficult, trying to make sure that we weren't like unknowingly spreading the virus within the house. And so working with my darling risk manager, our VP standards, Martha Eaton, was fun, but it was just like it was kind of a hectic first semester, but I learned a lot. A good time. I think probably the biggest lesson I learned was it's okay to ask for help. There were a lot of times when I was like, well, I'm president, so I have to do it, but there are always people on council that were willing to help, or just like not even on council, just outside of the house. Maybe it's an advisor or just a friend to talk to. It's okay to need to vent sometimes, or to need to delegate some tasks a little bit. My favorite moment of being chapter president is when Vice President Susan Stockton came to Purdue to help us petition to the county to get us new land for our new house, and they had me come as like the student representative to petition in front of the county to get approval for them to let us build our house. And that was such a fun memory for me, because after it got approved by the city, I got to go to dinner with the lawyers and Vice President Susan Stockton, which was the coolest thing for me, because I was like a little 19-year-old marketing student, and I got to go eat at a fancy steakhouse with the Vice President from Kappa Delta headquarters, and that was probably my favorite moment. I think about that a lot. Also, the food was really good. Before president, I was Vice President of Public Relations. Being president as a sophomore, I don't think it was really much different than it would have been had I been a junior. If anything, it was a bit, I don't want to say easier, but more manageable, because my course load wasn't super heavy like it is my junior and senior year now. So it was good, and I was lucky to be younger, so that I had older members of the sorority that were still there, able to be resources for me. Because if I was a junior or a senior as chapter president, with all those girls like, you know, gone into their careers and whatnot, I think it would have been a little bit more difficult. So I wouldn't change it. I'm glad I was president as a sophomore. Well, one of the things that's really helped me is using Google Calendar or like some sort of planner, so you can write everything down that you're doing and then like make easy adjustments so that you know what's happening each day. That's been really helpful for me, and a good way to hold yourself accountable. So I know some people can't really use electronics for it, but electronics works for me, so just time management skills is good and will be really helpful for you. I would say just do it, Nike, but regardless of if it's chapter president or if it's a position on council, I think that regardless of whatever role you choose, you're going to learn a lot from it, and a lot of things. I mean, even if it's PR or VP community service, like whatever you're doing, like you're going to learn a lot from it, and you'll be able to take all those skills that you learned to the rest of your career. So always do it. I think other advice I'd give to chapter presidents is the same. I think it was the lesson that I learned. It's okay to ask for help and lean on your council members, fellow council officers a little bit, because they all are there for a reason and are always willing to help you. So I think maybe I would like to be Vice President of Member Education, so that I could get to know the new members a little bit better, because I always feel really awkward and uncomfortable like eavesdropping on all the new members, because I think they're cool and I want to be their friend, but they have no idea who I am just because I'm like really old. So I think that I would have wanted to be new member educator so that I could know all of them, and maybe they'd want to be my friend. Well, I'm from Eastern Washington, so moving to Indiana for school was kind of a big thing for me. big change. And when I got here, I was kind of expecting it to be a lot different than it was, but I also wasn't really very willing to make it any better, if that makes sense. So I like kind of just stayed in my room all the time. I didn't really do much, didn't try to meet new people just because I was shy and I was just uncomfortable with the situation. And so I was really unhappy at Purdue for quite a long time until the spring semester. I was like, okay, like I need to make a change. And so I started hanging out with more girls in the sorority, and I got really close to my big and my G big. And then now, I mean, I'm really happy to be here. I love Purdue. I wouldn't change it for the world. And I think if I were to tell anything to my freshman year self, would be just to keep going out of your comfort zone, trying to hang out with new people, and everything is going to be okay in the end. I really like the chicken lettuce wraps. I think those are so good. But I'm like all the Asian food that Sean and E make is really good. So I'm super excited for Thai food this week. Also, the peanut sauce is so good. Also, the Chipotle ranch is so good. My favorite TikTok. There's this, I really like this TikTok of Becca Bastis, I think that's her name, and she's like impersonating a post office worker, and I think she's really funny. But I'm also on cooking TikTok, and I love being on cooking TikTok because I learn a lot of things. So right now I'm learning about baked feta pasta, obviously. I feel like I relate to more songs on Evermore than Folklore. Mars or the moon. I think I would rather go to Mars so that I can hopefully see the moon and Earth from like the telescope. My sun, I'm a Gemini sun, I'm an Aries moon, and I'm a Cancer rising.